Okay, folks, so here is how um, they're able to disperse hurricanes and cloud structures by using the HARP and using the radar facilities. You can kind of see, let me restart that over. You can kind of see a little bit of the formation there of what would have supposed to be Hurricane Hilary right here, right? You can see kind of the rotation. I'll play it forward a little bit from this angle, and then I'll zoom in a little bit on that. But you can see, of course, the really sharp lines there is something to do with the pixelization and the graphics and all of that and how it's displaying it from AccuWeather. But when I zoom in on that, let me zoom in, you'll notice a little bit closer there, you'll see there's these bands right here, and then these ones here, of course. Those are like the bands from the radar, from the harping, and from the frequencies being beamed. And what they're doing is they are beaming that. You can see right there, they're beaming that really heavy. They're beaming that Hurricane Hilary storm as it's approaching the coast, and it's kind of breaking it up. That's kind of a time lapse there now. And what their predicted model is, kind of showing it breaking down a little bit. But in the very beginning here, which begins at like 2:15 p.m. our time, you can see how it approaches up the coast here, and they use their radar right there to beam it and break it out using frequencies. That's weather control, weather modification, whatever you want to call it. That's controlling our upper atmosphere and the cloud structures and the storm systems using their radar systems down at ground level. So yeah, we've got one of them little bubbles over here in Nevada as well. See, I can zoom in on this part over here where there's one that's located, but there's really no moisture that's being allowed to really hang out around the valley here. But there is another one of those little radar stations that's right over here around Lake Las Vegas area and up towards the valley, towards Nellis. It's all in this area here. But yeah, there's obviously a little bit of what they're calling hurricane mitigation and hurricane suppression techniques going on out here in California, over by Johannesburg, California City, Bakersfield. They're being beamed pretty heavily, most likely in their attempts to bust this Hurricane Hilary all up. Yeah, you can see the harping going on right there, the frequencies being beamed. And then their, predicted model, of course, shows it breaking up. But yeah, that's part of their hurricane suppression techniques, is using these ground-based radar stations to do so. So, whatever. Just documenting a little bit of AccuWeather going on. There's the time frame you can see there. I'll back this out a little bit. Let's see. I believe it begins at 2:15. Yeah, you can see. It still was kind of formed a little bit there and had a little bit of rotation to it. But when it got up here by this radar station and they started beaming it, it didn't really stand a chance of holding up that form. Yeah, right there you can see there's a little bit of the rotation. Beam, 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 and it breaks it down. Anyway, stay mindful, folks. Anything that comes over this, the high desert here down in Henderson just seems to want to dissipate. They've had us under a pretty intense heat dome effect, so ground level has been heated up for a while too. And there's a few little scattered stuff that's been kind of coming in, kind of piddled overnight here as well. But yeah, yeah, that's very interesting. I wonder why the radars would be. Anyway. Don't beam me up, Scotty.